Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Donte's game, part 6, where stuff starts to get slightly mildly annoying.
Slightly mildly? Ooh, that's like a level in between good and annoying. Want to give some context, or are we going to find out in this part?
It's that extremely watered down variety of taco sauce that's just below mild. Nobody likes it, so most Taco Bells don't stock it, but it exists, I'm sure.
Tacos.
Why, ask me why are you buying ebony and ivory moves? Oh, right. I wanted to show off how useful they are. That's a sarcastic useful. They're not at all useful. Um, the next mission, I was actually able to buy something from the store this time. Excellent. The next mission is the Virility Factory. The game is divided into several parts with a boss at the end, and the bosses in this game are their own missions rather than existing at the end of missions like they do in 3 and 4, which is a slightly okay design choice as far as I'm concerned, because it means you don't have to worry about playing through a big long mission every time you want to retry a boss, or you don't have to worry about poor boss performance throwing off your ranking in a mission that you've been performing pretty well.
I think that's exactly why they did that.
Yeah. So we're gonna play through the Virility Factory, and then we're going to fight the Succubus, which doesn't really look like a succubus at all, but you'll see.
Take our word for it.
I thought we were going to the Slurm factory.
Well, it basically is Slurm.
Now you meant, why did you say? Why is the double trigger in this game?
Wait, is their
something you don't
mascot
recommend?
literally a sperm?
Yes, it is. It's Virility. Look, they even advertise it as enhancing sexual performance by 63%.
If you're told something's true often enough, you tend to believe it.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I think DmC's social commentary fails. It actually over-exaggerates everything, including the stupidity of the masses.
On drugs, it would make me better.
That's frickin' condescending.
You told something you believe in. You told something a lot of times you believe it's true. Ted, you're a wizard. I'm
Really?
going to say that that you bought it too soon. You're sheep, Ted.
Oh.
Anyway, it's at this point that we start to get some backstory for Kat. Also, Saint Lamia's orphanage.
Lamia's a demon.
Saint Lamia's orphanage? That's like saying Satan Christ.
What about Saint Dumas? Or Saint Dumbass?
It's Saint Dumbass, Ryan. Get it right.
And after all that anger, violence, and death, you have to dig deep.
They're just doing their jobs, man.
Oh, wait, so the scene of him, like, poking into his own skin's a real scene from this game? I thought it was like a... Why?
Yes.
Why is he doing
yeah.
that?
I don't know. You're never given any context for that. It just looks like it's there to be the cover of a Linkin Park album or something.
Skin deep.
Also, why does he have a Union Jack on his jacket? He's not British.
British anarchy, etc. You know, anarchy in the UK. I don't even know what that's about.
Keep
Because
calm and stop doing that line.
Only. There's a rift inside.
Anyway, this time we're not actually dragged into limbo. We're going to walk through a hallway for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to go into limbo. Because we can't actually do anything during this interactive cutscene, except chase after Kat and listen to dialogue. We can't even jump.
So our exposition hallway.
Yes.
Said you've been here before.
And we're going to come back through these hallways once we're in limbo.
But everything is warped and
Around in spirit
out of whack.
Yeah. And may I just say that up until this point, you get pretty comfortable with being able to just go in a straight line through missions. But at this point, some of the limbo sections get a bit disorienting. They get really wide open, and they give you multiple ways to get to the same place that don't really mean anything because there's nothing to find along the way. And there's one area.
You could take scenic route A compared to scenic route B.
Yeah, and then there's one area in this particular mission that I tend to get lost in a lot because Well, you'll see when we get there. I need something to talk about when I get to the bullshit part, so it might as well be about how bullshit that part is.
I expected it to be bigger. A lot bigger.
It looks pretty big to me.
But then I was just a child.
Oh yeah, and this is where we start to find out when Kat was a kid, she used to psychically ghost around Limbo while she was dreaming.
You came to Limbo to escape your nightmares.
Yes.
Duh.
The look on Dante's face there was priceless.
The looks on their faces are pretty badly done.
Like, Dante has a very punchable face, I've noticed.
Should be easy enough.
It,
He kind of radiates douchebag.
okay, yeah, he does. He has when Dante smiles, like grins at anything, he looks very. He looks like. He radiates douchebag, and the facial expressions of this game sort of fluctuate between good and bad, depending on the scene.
Well, it's like every time Dante smiles, it's always of the shit-eating grin variety.
Yeah.
Alright, see you on the other side.
Boxes! Oh no, Silver's in here! Ah, run!
It's no use, Dante.
So, guys, I have a question for you. What's a platforming game without the platforms?
Oh.
Dante?
And that's what Limbo is here.
Oh, good.
You're right. It's a lot bigger here.
No,
in
tell me
Limbo.
what it really means,
What
Limbo.
next?
Head back to the mixing room. I'll meet you there.
Obesity, stupidity, drink virility.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
Thank you for
we're
saying
gonna-
that.
we're gonna see those words plastered over literally every wall in this place. So I don't really see the reason of underlining it by pulling it up directly in a cutscene.
Product
they're
placement
stupid.
is bad.
Because Lewis, you are obese and stupid.
Well, there's one other word we're gonna see everywhere.
Poison.
Two other words actually: obey and poison.
Remember, guys. Product placement is bad. Devil May Cry has been brought to you by Mountain Dew.
What took you so long?
Eat your Doritos, Ryan.
Why me?
You know, if Mountain Dew was the drink that they product placed in this, I would laugh because it actually looks a lot like Slurm. I'm sorry, virility.
Well, but obey Poison. Poison's the name of a musical band, isn't it? What do I gotta listen
Yeah,
to them
Poison. Every rose has its thorns. It is a good song, but I don't want to listen to it on repeat for an hour.
for? Why do I gotta listen to it?
Well, actually, I think the word that poison is supposed to go with is consume. But yeah.
Consume obesity. What?
Yeah. Ooh, I could just taste
Oh,
the bitch.
they're saying that in order to solve world hunger, we have to bring all the obese people to the starving lands, and they'll eat them.
Mm. I sense a
All right.
conspiracy.
You know how I said things would get slightly annoying in this part? Annoying thing number one. We're going to see a lot of red knights and blue knights in this level.
Hey,
Usually in the same place as each other. And when you have a red enemy and a blue enemy in the same place, do you know what that stops you from doing? Hurting both at the same time. And if they happen to be really close to each other, when you try to swing at one, the other is going to repel you. It's very tedious.
You know, what if at one point the sarcastic remark actually produced results?
Oh yeah, Dante was like, "Hey, can you point me
Hey,
to
can you
the
show me
mix-
the mixer room? Oh, it's
Oh,
right
yeah,
over
sure.
there, Dante!
down the hall, past the sacrifice chamber, and it's right on your left."
Thanks, you're a doll. By the way, fuck you.
Hey, fuck you.
That
too,
wasn't
man.
very nice.
I'm just trying to have a reasonable discussion.
Also, there are these really annoying things, like in areas like this one where you have waves of enemies. Oh, annoying thing number two, the big enemies start showing up more often in this part. There's this part where it just gives you a very, very, very momentary close-up of Dante's face, smirking or whatever, and I have no idea why they do that. It literally just marks the dividing point between enemy waves.
Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you. Why specifically do you not like double trigger in this game?
I'd
even
rather get
unlocked
to
it
it when
yet?
No, it unlocks around mission 7 or 8, which is about the same
I thought you
time.
had it and you just weren't using it.
No, I don't even have a devil trigger meter up there. Like in DMC, DMC3, and DMC 4, you don't get devil trigger until like mission 7 or 8, and we're not quite there yet.
Oh, okay.
But
No, we shall wait till then.
The short answer, though, just for now, is it doesn't last long enough.
Okay, no, you weren't kidding though. This music is awful. It's all like I'm not really a punk guy too much. Just to begin with, I kind of find it a little bit obnoxious.
Well, the music in the previous Devil May Cry games had two main genres. For battle, metalhead, and for not battle, usually it was something pretty gothic. You know, atmospheric and all that. You don't really get the atmospheric in this game much at all. Like listen to this music right now.
There isn't any.
Exactly. There isn't any. It's like Castlevania 3D on the N64. There's no music. And I'm not sure how frequent that is in this game, but it happens a little too often for my tastes. It's like, this is an eerie environment. It's an eerie atmosphere. I would appreciate some eerie music to go with it, but no. And I almost went backwards because this place throws my sense of direction off pretty hard.
You're drinking too much of that virility, Donte.
I just, this is, I know, where, I don't want to start too many flame wars by just mentioning this, but this is actually probably one of the big things that annoyed me most about Other M. Wasn't the story, it was the fact that there was never really any music playing. Like, ever. So it just made the parts where you were wandering around seem very, very empty. Which is kind of what I'm getting here, too. It's just like, oh, you're walking down a hallway. That's...
Yeah, but I didn't really see that as annoying in Other M, because the areas in Other M, this was part of the problem with the game, but the areas in Other M were a lot more compact than this.
Yeah, whatever.
There's a way there's a way you can implement background music and have atmosphere at the same time, which I think Prime did perfectly.
Yeah, you just have good atmospheric music.
Yeah.
Very descriptive, Ted.
Okay, you know what? It's hard to describe music because a lot of it is opinion based, but like what I just don't like country, for example. Nobody, you can't really explain that. It's just I don't. So you can't really get too specific unless you want to get into like music theory or something like that.
Yeah. To this day, I can't decide whether I like country music or not.
Well, when your dad plays it for hours on end in the car, no, you learn to not like it.
I don't hate it, I just prefer not to listen to it.
It's about that old dirt road, the hey girl, drink the beer, and go dogs, as they could say down here.
You know the problem with multiple route paths like this one? Sometimes you just wind up going in a circle. And I almost did that here.
No.
As you can see, I was almost backtracking down a route I didn't take, and then I realized, no, I should be going this way.
No, the problem with multiple route paths for me is that I feel like I need to explore all of them because there might be which one's the right one. And by the right one, I mean which one's the wrong one that leads you to some goodies at the end.
Or in the case of Bayonetta, look at all the benches I can kick.
Is there ever anything to do in the in-between parts in that game? Like, ever?
You look for treasure chests to get pieces of heart and magic pearls, moon pearls.
And secret missions.
And secret missions, yeah.
And you usually do actually want to break everything because you'll get concoction ingredients to make items with. Like, yeah, never buy items. Just make sure to pick up a lot of ingredients and make items as you need them.
You kick the benches in the beginning of the game in Bayonetta, you step on the train, you get a free, was it 20,000
Oh,
halos?
yeah. It's, actually, I don't think it's 20,000 halos. I think it's actually a moon pearl piece.
No, it's definitely halos. I know it's halos.
It might be a moon pearl piece the first time you do it.
How many do you get?
20,000 halos.
That's a lot of Master Chief collections.
Not that halo.
Nah, just do what I do. Call them rings.
Yeah, I do that as well.
It's a Sega published game, after all. There's an Eggman in Bayonetta, too.
No, he's in the beginning of Bayonetta 1, Lewis.
That was not the number 2, the 2 as in also. And believe it or not, that was unintentional, but More on that when we actually commentate
But
over
just
Bayonetta.
to cap that off, I always just jumping the gun a bit here with that. I always thought that was just another name for Rodon.
Oh, it wasn't. No, actually, it's a dead guy, and Rodon was just hiding in his coffin for no apparent reason. You sure do see a lot of phantom babies in this one. Actually, they're called creepers, but, you know, it really struck me as odd. It's like, we want to make this game feel more like classic Devil May Cry. What should we do? Let's throw a bunch of spiders around that we can shoot mindlessly. Devil May Cry 1 did that, but only in specific sections, and only because Phantom was actually around there.
Phantom was the magma spider, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah, and Phantom babies were the tiny magma spiders that you could shoot or stomp on at your leisure. I hope these creepers count toward achievement completion, though, because that would certainly speed things along. Kill X number of demons? I just killed 20 in one go.
Yeah, you just went in a circle.
Yeah. Well, there's a rather bullshit part of that. You have to get to the end of the area before you can reach the place with the key. And then once you get to the key, you have to make your way back around to the exit.
I like the gritty tone of the visual effects. The only problem is that in Limbo specifically, well, outdoor Limbo, not indoor Limbo, you kind of run the risk of things looking oversaturated.
Yeah, it's less of a problem here, but I have another problem here. Okay, do you want to know the real reason why Dante's coat is red?
So you can tell them apart from everything.
Yeah. What color is Dante's coat here? The same fucking color as everything else.
Yeah, it's very monotone.
Well, that's also, like, he has the... That might be why they changed the color of the coat for the rest of the thing, because they made all of Limbo red everywhere else. So, you know.
Yeah, somewhat. It's red in certain areas, it's green in certain areas. You know, the only real constant with Limbo is that it has a dreary demonic color. It sort of fluctuates from one color to another depending on the area. But that is the constant, that things that at any given point in the game, a lot of stuff on the screen is going to look the same tone and color.
Okay, so the question I have for you then is that a problem because you just hate that because of its color choice, or do you hate it because it's hard to keep track of Dante?
No, well, this is, you know, going back to me trying to play Bayonetta, and part of the reason why I wasn't getting into that game was because every enemy, it was hard to tell the enemies apart just at a glance, so I didn't really know who to focus on a lot, because everything tended to blend together, because all of them were kind of white and blobby looking to me. And, you know, I can see the same sort of thing happening here, where all the enemies sort of are kind of blending into the background, although that might just be the video quality I'm watching this at. So, like, I can tell the red and blue guys here apart pretty well, because they contrast, although apparently they're annoying to fight, because they're like, colored Ikaruga guys.
They force you to take them on one at a time, and let me just say the angel weapons are not weapons that are made with one-on-one combat in mind. They do piss poor damage, so the only time you really get something out of them is when you're using them for crowd control, and all of their moves are based on crowd control. That was subtle.
Damn!
Man, they've gone from passive-aggressive to aggressive really quick. It's just like obey, destroy. Fuck you, Donte.
Is the next one like a emoticon that's a middle finger?
What, the ASCII art?
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, here we're back in the hallways. We're actually making our way all the way back to where we started while we were in that cutscene in the real world. The soda pump out in the top level where people were walking around.
Is that what that yellow tube thing is right there? Like a demonic soda pump?
The yellow tube thing is a tentacle coming out of the succubus.
Mmm. Tasty.
Sexy.
Alright, the soda is made by pumping a secret ingredient out of the succubus
It is Slurm.
body. Yes, it is Slurm. It's literally Slurm.
Oh.
So,
Are
yeah.
there Grungalungas in here?
Also, no, Ted, not sexy. You'll see what I mean when we see the succubus next part.
But the succubus is supposed to be sexy. That's the whole point of a succubus. They tempt you with their
Well-
sexiness and steal your soul.
Well, actually, no. A succubus is a demon that has sex with you in your sleep, and up until pop culture made succubuses really alluring and stuff, they were actually supposed to be ugly as fuck, you know? Just really disgustingly ugly. But they did have this sort of Batgirl look to them, I think.
I always thought succubuses took the form of your sexual desires.
It's something that's a bit different depending on
Which
what
means
your
I
partner
dread
does.
to know whose sexual desires is of this succubus that we're going to see next part.
Monday.
The succubus we're going to see next part doesn't even look like a succubus. Also, this is one example where a freeform camera during combat can be a bit of a liability. Anyway, this is a secret mission. And, don't do this secret mission. Save yourself the pain.
Do you even get anything for beating these?
Pieces of heart.
Pieces of heart and pieces of magic.
Wait, this is just the room from the other level we were in.
Yeah, that's where all the secret missions take place in stock areas. Anyway, the gimmick for this secret mission is that nobody takes any damage at all except you. Unless you're inside these shrinking green circles. And by shrinking, I mean they close incredibly fast. Here's the problem. Pretty much everything you do knocks enemies back.
You got to keep them in the air.
You gotta keep them in the circle. Or above the circle. Just in the circle. But half the enemies are these freaking halfway invincible chainsaw things. Anyway, but if you try to fight them on the ground, odds are you're gonna push them out of the circle mid-combo. Now this first attempt at this secret mission, I will admit, is a pretty piss-poor attempt. I'm going to attempt this twice in this part. And I'm going to fail the second time, even though I thought I was doing pretty good at keeping things inside the green circles. I honestly think part of the reason I'm failing is because it's not as easy to kill these things fast enough if you don't have the right kind of weapons and the right kind of upgrades.
That was kind of the fear I had with some of the challenges in games similar to this, whether or not I'm adequately equipped for the challenge ahead. Specifically the ones where you have to kill enemies within a certain amount of time.
Bayonetta was really bad about that. And I'm not even going to smooth it over. Bayonetta 1 was terrible about that. Bayonetta 2, not so much. It threw really easy secret missions at you early on. But Bayonetta 1 had, like, kill an enemy in a single number of hits, where or with a limited number of punches and kicks, and all you have is your main gun. And you know, the first time you run into that, you're basically not going to win.
Yeah, they eased it up with Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2, I actually did all of the secret challenges. I didn't do all that for Bayonetta 1 because I'm pretty much on the same boat.
In Bayonetta 1, you pretty much have to remember where the secret missions are, save them for later when you're more equipped, and handle them then.
When you had nothing else to prove.
When all that's left is 100% completion, and when you're trying to unlock the Rodon boss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, once the circle gets that small, there is no point in trying to even... Don't bother. It looks like the grappling hook, though, is the key to this, though.
Yeah.
Just to keep them in the air.
Keep them in the air, and you can combo them without necessarily moving them horizontally.
The circles shrink really quick, though, from what I've seen. Like, you don't even have to just be standing in it. You get too close and because you have to wait for the enemies to get close to you most of the time, too.
Also, these chainsaw running around guys are really annoying when you're trying to fight things in the air, because half the time, I fall from an aerial combo, and there's a chainsaw guy that's charging underneath me, and I didn't see him until he caught me on his chainsaw. And whenever these guys hit you, they hold you up for like 3 whole seconds. They don't even do that much damage, they're just annoying.
So, you have to get 7 kills, and there's exactly 7 enemies here?
Yes.
See, I would think that this is one of those missions where the key is to ignore the chainsaw goons and just focus on the small fry, but you have to kill those 2.
Yeah. This is one of the Argent key missions, and that's basically how you can tell whether a mission's going to be easy or hard, what kind of key you use to get in there. At least DmC gives you that indication, because Bayonetta gave you no indication of how hard the mission challenge was going to be at all.
That's my Donte.
Yeah, for once, Donte and I were in complete agreement. Yeah, missions like that are part of the reason I'm not 100%ing this game. The other part is, you know, to 100% this game, you pretty much have to go back and redo missions.
You gonna come down in a second here?
Alright, I wanted to illustrate how piss poor the guns were by trying to kill this guy with nothing but handguns. We're gonna be here for a while.
So you guys see any good movies lately?
No.
Donte, lower. Lower, Donte. There you go.
There we go, yeah. You said lower, right?
Not that way.
I think my thumb was getting tired.
Okay, so is this like this is Schwarzenegger levels of reloading?
What the hell?
You've been signed out of PlayStation Network. Oops.
Yeah, and the game sort of paused to let me know this because it couldn't have just popped up a notice at the corner of the screen like every other game. Also, the divinity statues function as checkpoints. Not something you'll really well, you won't die a lot in this game, but it's helpful to know. That was at level 1 with the guns. I just upgraded to level 2, so now I'm going to do slightly less butt amounts of damage.
The only thing I don't like about the design of Ebony and Ivory in this game is the handles.
You
They
know,
look pretty
looking
mangled.
at them closer, they do sort of loop around the pinky finger, but they're impractical for a gun design. I said it back in, I think it was in the DmC 1 playthrough, but the guns Donte uses in the Canon series are actually pretty smartly designed in terms of practical customizations. I mean, sure, they're decorated, and they have fancy names and engravings, but they also have actual customizations that would help them as guns. And now, just to underline the fact that people are drinking poisonous soda, we get to see flashbacks of people drinking this stuff.
Shitting hell is going on here.
The mixing process. But it's the source we're interested in.
I'm guessing our succubus is on the other end of that.
Also, their entire digestive system's inside the tanks off to the side. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, it's supposed to be disturbing and edgy, but I just thought it was funny.
So we're drinking her gastric juices.
Careful!
Possibly. Anyway, the soda is hazardous. It slows you down when you're walking around on it, and also causes you minute amounts of damage.
I thought that they
It's
said that
actually-
it doesn't affect him though because he's.
The soda doesn't affect him when he drinks it because he's a demon, or half angel, Nephilim. The raw material poison is actually the same stuff that the succubus will spew at you during the boss battle.
Okay.
So this is raw material.
Yes.
Oh no, the high fructose corn syrup.
It's more of a threat than the enemies in this area because, well, half the time it means you can't touch the ground.
So which is why you gotta bring them to you.
Also, I should probably mention, when the red enemies turn the entire area red on the ground like that, it's a mechanic that's going to come back heavily in one of the later missions, but basically what it means is you have to have your demon weapon equipped, which means you need to hold down the demon weapon button, otherwise the ground will hurt you.
Oh, I thought it was just a little visual effect where they're burning the raw material on the floor with their red hotness.
Oh no, the red demons do that to any floor that they're on.
Dante's eyes in the health bar, like, occasionally they'll glow red. Does that mean anything?
Not really sure.
Does it happen when he
never-
gets hurt?
I don't think so.
I've never paid attention because, to be honest, the health bar in this game is boring to me. It's visually boring.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna be expecting, like, I think it might be when you're dealing damage to an enemy, although I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be expecting you to look at the health bar while you're supposed to be fighting something.
Well, yeah. Oh, I think it might have to do with, oh, it's whether you have the demon or the angel weapon equipped.
Okay.
Yeah, so while you're holding down the angel weapon, it'll be blue, I think.
Okay, I'll keep an eye
Yeah.
out for that.
It looks white now.
That's because I'm using Rebellion.
What are you, racist, Johnny?
No. It's actually no. He's right. Because when he was using the guns, it remained neutral. When he did the air dash, which is angel based, right?
Yeah.
His eyes went blue, and yeah, it's definitely weapon based.
Okay.
Oh, whatever. odd visual effect.
Well, like, you know,
see,
nobody's
you know,
going to be
I
looking
don't-
at that while they're fighting.
Yeah, I know. The only reason I didn't notice it until this commentary is like interesting attention to detail. I suppose they wanted to do something stylistic with the health bar. Ow!
What was this about not dying a whole lot?
I didn't die. I used
Do-over.
a gold orb. I used a
Mulligans.
gold orb.
So wait, does
Also,
it not count
no-
as a death if you use your gold orb?
Also, it counts as a gold orb use, which will hurt your ranking, but not by much in this game. The thing. Oh, one of them charged through the other and killed it. Excellent. The thing about this, though, is I did want to record the missions without any deaths. But this was the 5th time I'd recorded this particular mission, because I was using my Hopog at the time. And my Hopog, as you guys know, was giving me trouble by the end of this particular recording. I took quite a while actually finishing this game. It's because I kept having to replay missions because of recording glitches.
Fucking worse.
So I accepted the gold orb death because by the time I got there, I was like, "Fuck it,
Fuck
I'm
it.
so done with this shit." Yeah, I was done. I was totally done. But yeah, that's the end of this mission. I think next mission is going to be the succubus boss.
But we have a results screen to go through first.
Let's see how much that gold orb actually hurt my ranking. Style points. How many style points did I get? Double S to that one.
You know, these numbers are
Time,
meaningless,
double
right?
Times 7. The score is actually what determines your rank.
I know, but it's just like, oh, you got 1 million points, 6 million points. See, it's like
And the
10
rank is what determines how many upgrade points you get.
10% loss for every death.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the numbers themselves do not mean anything. Like it could be 5 points, and that would get you an S as well.
Yeah, but you'd like to see a big number.
Well, in Devil May Cry 4, the number of Proud Souls you got on your mission was like was directly taken from your score. It'd be like a certain fraction of whatever number you got.